Most of us have precious free time, so when we travel abroad, we seek out places that are beautiful, cultural, or life-affirming. Increasingly, however, some travelers are choosing to visit locations most of us would rather avoid: slums. Poverty tourism is a small but growing sector of the tourism industry, wherein primarily wealthy Western tourists visit the poorest places on Earth, most of which are in the developing world. Mumbai, Rio de Janeiro, Nairobi, and Johannesburg are perhaps the most popular locations for these trips, but a new tour was recently set up in Manila, the Filipino capital well known for its chaos, congestion, and inequality. Manila isn't the poorest city on Earth, but it is the most densely populated, with about half of its residents living in slums. One of the most remarkable is Smokey Mountain, a community literally situated on a garbage dump. This is where Smokey Tours, a local nonprofit, offers to take tourists for a small fee. Not surprisingly, poverty tourism is controversial. Critics have labeled these tours degrading, while supporters contend that they promote social awareness and help the local economy. We wanted to find out for ourselves if slum tourism really did distill poverty into entertainment, or if there was something more to it. Our guides were Nympha and Remy of Smokey Tours.
So this area is Block 5, where a lot of recycling takes place. The garbage that you can see here has been brought by scavengers.
Every day, barges unload the city's refuse on the banks of Smokey Mountain. And every day, an army of scavengers, as they call themselves, comb through the trash for items to resell and recycle.
So they have different prices. For example, the plastics, 16 pesos. The broken glass, 1 peso per kilo. And the bottles, 1 to 3 pesos. It depends upon the kind of bottles. And the metals is 16 pesos. So the scavenger earned 150 up to 300. They working 8 to 10 hours. They might have earned 500 in a very good day. The scavenging is the main industries here. So 80% of people is scavenging.
The tour led us over piles of endless trash and through a maze of narrow alleyways.
So ma'am, sir, please watch your head because low wires and low ropes here.
The pickers and their families live where they work, in small wooden huts with poor sanitation and with little access to water and electricity.
So this is how the typical family live here. So they have the solar lanterns for the alternative of those electricity, which is legal, because the connection here of the electricity is very expensive, the legal one. And then they are using this one as their alternatives lights.
Could you ask the lady here how many people live here?
Ilan ang nakatira dito, Nay?
Kami lang mag-ina.
There are two, one child and the mother.
So we are now at the charcoal production. So it's very smoky here. Some of the illnesses of the people here are skin allergy and pneumonia. So pneumonia is the leading cause of the death of the people here, especially those little children. So pneumonia turned into TB, tuberculosis. That's why some of the babies here, for example, they were died for this pneumonia.
So there are 400 households making this charcoal production as their main source of income. The process of this one is take 3 days in burning and 2 days in cooling, and after cooling, and they are going to repack it as what you can see here. And the people working in this one having also live here in this place.
So that one is the original Smokey Mountain one, but no more people living there. And now we are here at Smokey Mountain 2. We back in 1960. It was a peaceful fishing village known as Barrio Mandaragat. In 1954, the government had began to dump Manila household waste in Barrio Mandaragat. So the land started to change, the soil changed, and the sea became a poison. So fewer and fewer fish were caught until finally the fishermen could no longer to support their families by means of fishing. Soon they discovered that the garbage that being dumped their village was a very good source of livelihood, and they began to sell their material fishing and became known as scavenger. Although they did not have legal permission, they built their homes and they became a squatter.
In 1996, the original Smokey Mountain site was closed by the government because it was deemed too dangerous. Many of the residents were relocated to the new site that bears the Smokey Mountain name today.
Good morning. This is a leftover chicken coming from the different fast food chain. So it mixed with all the garbage bins, and scavengers get into all the fast food like Jollibee, Chowking, and Max's. That's their specialty here. So this pagpag cost 20 pesos, and it is already cooked. So they are recook this one, they clean it first, and they added some seasoning to make delicious again.
Here you can find children swimming in the sea, which is dangerous because it's not clean, and there at the backside is deep.
Today's version of slum tourism began in Rio's favelas and South Africa's apartheid townships in the 1980s and 90s. But the concept is even older than that. In industrial-era London and New York, wealthy people would go slumming, as they then called it, in poor neighborhoods like London's Whitechapel or Manhattan's Five Points. Then, as now, slumming was something that attracted people who considered themselves progressives. These voyeurs wanted to better understand how the other half lived, and they wanted to change things. After experiencing a tour ourselves, we're not sure whether or not this is a voyeuristic sport. On one hand, the trip was a powerful experience that did open our eyes to the dire poverty in Manila. Moreover, it's clear that the residents of Smokey Mountain can use whatever money the tourists bring with them. That said, it felt incredibly uncomfortable walking around such poverty with a camera. We left the tour with an overwhelming sense that we are insanely lucky and that the world is impossibly unfair. But maybe that's the point.